You are now soaring into the adventures of Mr. Anansi and Mr. WP. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride.
Hey everybody, welcome back to episode 12 of The Adventure of Mr. Anansi and
Mr. WP, welcome back. I know I wasn't here last episode, but we here. We are live. We are back. I'm glad to see you guys again. Welcome back. What's up, Felix? How you doing?
I'm chilling, man. Can't complain. Everything is up on the up and up, bro. On the up and up, some good news during the week, because I think I told you via text privately, but so everything is on the up and up, man. So I can't complain. How about you, man? How's everything? Oh, my fault.
Congrats again on that. No problem, no problem. I'm good. Yeah, just a couple things that's going on in my life, but it's nothing negative. Everything is positive. I have a quote saying that that I go on a day-to-day basis. Nothing is happening to me. Everything is happening for me.
Okay.
So yeah, there's things that's occurring in my life that is it seemed like it's a challenge, quote unquote, but at the end of the day, it's more so just I know what it will lead to at the end of the road. So I'm walking with positivity.
Dude, I'm loving what you've been doing on the Insta, man. If you don't follow Will on the Insta, is WP Designs.
Yes, sir.
He's wearing the get up right there. Bye, Felicia. That's pretty dope. We'll also design all of our stuff, as you see in the background, and gets us set up for anything that we need. So talented. Yeah, I've been loving that quote and the conversation with your moms about being the first millionaire. That shit had me, bro.
Oh yeah, man. That's what it is. Like,
gotta shoot that up there in the atmosphere, bro. So
it was just out of curiosity. I just didn't know at first if someone happened to be in my family lineage, someone that had to be a millionaire, I would go drive to their house or wherever they live, knock on their door. I'm like, hey, show me the way. So, but
this is the way.
Yeah. If so, like in that case, my mom said no, not that she knows it. I was like, all right, let me just be the first one, and just from there, just build off. It's funny because my cousin texted me afterwards when she saw that post, and she was like, hey, wait a minute, I was supposed to be the first one. I said, I guess you're second in line now. So
competition always drives to success rate, you know what I mean? So
exactly.
You gotta build that family what they call it? The family damn, what is that? Like the old money. You guys gotta start the old money now.
Oh, gotcha.
You gotta start the old money with you guys. So that the future generational wealth, they can enjoy and relax because
they're gonna be like, yeah, I remember my great grandfather. He started with $1, and now we're actually living off of that.
He started with $1. At that time, because of inflation, that joint is gonna be stupidly expensive.
Facts.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. But yeah, hopefully, don't forget me, man. Toss some into my bank account.
I'll have your kids holler at my kids.
I'm gonna be the first bystander of a millionaire. I'm just gonna be standing there like, I knew that guy. Toss me like $10, bro. Let me be out your way. Throw me that little stimmy, you know what I
mean? we have to get into the stimmy. That's one of the topics
for sure.
First, let's get into the fun fact, right, of the day. Yep. I missed doing it because I know I was gone for one episode, but I'm back. I'm telling you guys, I'm back. More fire than ever. Once again, I want to say sponsored by me, but I'm pretty sure that I'll come call on this podcast and say, hey, why'd you use my business? No, I'm just kidding. Once again, this is sponsored by no one. All right, we're gonna keep it no one for now. If you guys want to sponsor us, want to holler at us, just email us. Give us a shout out, message us anywhere on social media. You see all the plugs that's behind us on the background. Just message us if you want any sponsor, like have a conjoint sponsorship. Yep, you see Felix tossing himself back and forth, pointing left and right. Yep. We probably need one of those things one day. Like you just put your finger. I see it on Instagram everywhere. It goes boom, and next thing you know, something pops out.
You know what? We could get Portia on that. On that. Let's just do the motion, and then have her just put the stuff in. Just
that. All right, so let's get into that fun fact. So as you guys know, it is Women's History Month. So let's first and foremost, let's commemorate all the women, like the females in the world today that has been working hard from basically from the beginning of time to now. And
Facts.
some facts is just like we're not even being recognized. So let's start off with this fun fact. So fun fact, in 1872, Victoria Woodhull became the first woman to run for president. 4 years earlier, she and her sister had become the first female Wall Street brokers in 1868. Isn't that wild? The fact that like 50 years after that date, like
Mm-hmm.
women were allowed to vote, but like at a bare minimum. So even prior to then, when she was running for president,
Mm-hmm.
like she already had one gender out of it because women couldn't vote. So that was just like already a handicap
Yeah,
for her.
she was definitely one that bit if they were able to vote for sure.
Right. And the fact that like
100%.
she was in the on Wall Street at the time too. So a lot of people are like slipping like slacking on women, like females like I know for sure that the two highest IQs in the world is actually female.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like not institutional, standardized, like the
Oh
standardized
yeah, yeah, yeah.
IQs, yeah, both females. I'm just like, wow, that's pretty amazing. I'm actually moving my mic back and forth. That's
I
why my
mean,
shit
yeah.
kind
I
of like
mean,
blocked out.
it doesn't surprise me because the world run because of women and the amazing things they do.
Yeah,
We just men pretend to do all this stuff, but in reality, we know what it is.
we know what it is. We know what it is.
We know who really runs everything.
So yeah, once again, thank you to all women
Yes.
across the world, past and present, that has changed people's lives and the standards of living today.
Yeah.
Especially if they haven't been recognized, we're recognizing you guys today.
and and those in the healthcare services as well
Oh,
for the last what the last year and a half. Well, I think it was a year oh, earlier this week.
mhm.
All the craziness that's going on, the essential workers keeping the world afloat, man. Y'all deserve
Oh
more
yeah,
than just recognition. You deserve that payment as well. So
right.
hopefully, that's on its way as well with a stimmy being passed.
The
Hopefully,
stimmy
some help along the way for y'all.
facts. Oh
So
man, speaking of the stimmy, so government finally got the approval for that third stimmy to come through.
I saw. Actually, I was watching a video on it this morning.
Mhm,
That I think AOC did a whole like breakdown of
mhm.
like the crucial stuff, and
Yep.
it looks pretty good, man. Obviously, there's some few pieces that I'm missing from there, like student loans, and
Mhm,
I think increasing the minimum wage is
mhm,
missing from there.
mhm.
So, but obviously, her being young and having the same type of experiences most of us have had um, prior to heading into office.
Mhm,
She speaks about like people need to mobilize and fight for some of these things, right?
mhm,
Like put pressure on the government and stuff. But one thing that I saw that was very amazing that she mentioned was the government will be giving about 7K back on outside of the 1400 that
mhm.
they're giving standard for those who need it, and
Ooh,
they're gonna be giving I think 7K back to funeral costs for
okay.
that people have spent
From
for family
from
members.
the quote.
Yeah, yeah, due to COVID. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. They're
Okay.
gonna be giving the 7K back on you could file for that. And then your stimulus check obviously is not taxable income.
Mhm.
So they
Yeah,
mentioned
a lot of people. If you're still questioning if it is taxable, I've recently was starting my taxes, and
mm-hmm,
it does let you know like right on your taxes like this is not taxable. Like your stimulus checks that you've recently got, if you got one or
right.
two, you're not being taxed. So just to give you guys FYI again, if you're filing your taxes, those are not taxable. So you're set.
Yeah, for sure. So it's not taxable, so
Mhm.
don't need
Don't
no
freak
need
out.
for that. Yeah. And then I think one of the things that she mentioned in her talk was the fact that they have in the bill, right? If there's any loan forgiveness, like if they forgive student loan, it's
Hmm.
also not taxable.
Hmm.
So that's like a little thing that she mentioned, like her word in the tuck. It's in the
Hmm.
tuck, in the legislation that was passed with the with a stimmy.
It's
So
pretty smart. It's pretty smart
so
to have that.
yeah, so that's why she was telling people like you gotta put pressure because they kind of paved the way for if people really want it, they need to start speaking up. Obviously, this just
Mm-hmm.
doesn't impact minorities or this impact everyone.
So it's a
So
culture, not culture. It's a countrywide
yeah, it's an
problem.
issue. Yeah, it's a
Mm-hmm.
countrywide issue, not just one group of people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully in the coming months, people will start being engaged and
Oh
we
man,
could be
so
debt free again.
it's crazy. Like I for one do not mind the fact that like if people's student loans get forgiven, I'm like, all right, that's cool. That's literally like student loan is like probably one of the biggest conspiracies. Not conspiracy, but yeah, conspiracy. Like, is it conspiracy? It's one of the biggest ripoffs besides like healthcare in the
Mm-hmm.
U.S. In my opinion, like those two are like probably neck and neck. Just
Mm-hmm.
different groups have to deal with those issues, but some people are like when it comes to like student loans, they're like, why are you guys trying to approve the student loans for people if I already paid mine off? So you have those type of people, and then you have
Mm.
other groups that's like, all right, so I'm waiting, I'm gonna wait all this time just for the government to say, okay, we can wipe off my student loan. And then you have the people that's in between that's like, all right, I should pay it off, but at the
Mm-hmm.
same time it's like I want to wait to hear what the government has to say about it. And then, like for me personally, like the last thing I need, so I'm like the person that's in between. I put myself in that group, like I'll pay it, but then like if it gets approved, I'm for it. That just advances like my how much I have left to
Mm-hmm.
pay off. I'm not one of those people that's like, well, if I do happen, let's say if I did happen to pay mine off before the government approved it, I'd be like, all right, it is what it is. But say if it was like way down the road from like expectancy of like when people expect like the government to respond back regarding that, and then they finally approved it, I just thought, all right, it is what it is. I paid for it. I'm not gonna whine if the government decide to wipe out student loan forgiveness for people. But
Yeah, no, I'm in the middle too. Like I've been paying mine off. Also mine is mostly private, so it doesn't really impact me.
mhm,
But I am of the camp that just because it doesn't affect you doesn't mean somebody else is not being affected. So I,
right.
if people get forgive, great because you know what happened. That's more money that's going back into the economy, and people are spending um, that money properly.
Mhm,
So to me, I'm of the camp also. It allows a lot of people a lot of freedom for career choices, and
mhm,
people are not going to be taking opportunities that they're not happy in because of
mhm,
you know what I mean. So I think it would be great for everybody if
right.
it's forgiven. I don't think it. I'm not of the camp like oh I've paid mine off so.
Yeah.
What like your brother or your sister or your family member is probably haven't
Mhm.
like
Now everyone's on the same boat as you. So.
right so you should think about anybody other people outside of yourself. I
True.
think it's very important that especially coming out of this pandemic, people really start thinking for themselves and thinking about other people outside of themselves. Like
Hmm.
don't let media outlets and all these crazy stuff that they're saying about people, all different backgrounds,
Right.
make you think less of people like oh my god like if they pay for it what's gonna happen to you bro nothing will happen
nothing,
to you
nothing at all.
it's okay that nothing happens to you
You wake up and it's still the same. It's the next day. That's what it is. The next day, yo. Wait, so
yes
I have a question with with the stimulus. So I don't know if you noticed, but like a lot of people online, it's a trend now to file like for LLC, right? So like those you see those memes that be like, all right, I told my husband or my husband asked me, it's
oh
like I'll
shit
pay for LLC once the stimulus comes in. For me, I'm looking at that and I compare it to like, you know how when a person's telling you that they're gonna go start working out in January. So like it's like those first people that are coming in line, like they're gonna start doing the thing, and the next thing you know, something really hits the fan, and in this case, their business, and they're like, all right, nah, I'm all set. This wasn't worth it. So like I just feel like people are just saying that because they expect like a quick turnaround when it comes to like, for example, like getting an LLC. Like just because you can have an LLC doesn't mean that you're gonna be a millionaire overnight.
I'm kind of I'm gonna be honest with you, Will. I thought that shit I thought it was just a joke, bro. I didn't think
No,
that.
it's a real thing. And I'm
I
just
didn't
like,
think
yo,
pe-
this is a real thing.
I didn't think that people were actually out here trying to really start an LLC.
No,
But
it's a real thing. I'm just like, that's terrible to think like that.
if you start an LLC, I guess for what though? Like, I'm really like I'm generally asking. I'm not trying to belittle anybody. I'm generally
Yeah,
asking, what
no,
is it for?
yeah, I don't know.
Like,
Like, I think people don't really think it through. They just think, like I mentioned, it's like a one-stop shop. It's literally as soon as you get your LLC, you are proclaimed as a millionaire. As soon as it happens, I'm just like, man, these people have a lot coming for themselves. Like if they really think that like they're gonna be like the next Jeff Bezos or Mark Cuban as soon as you file for an LLC. I mean, of course, it has like its tax write-offs, but you still need to, like you mentioned, what are you gonna do with the LLC? Like, do you already have
yeah,
like a plan and set?
no, like I okay, fine. I get okay. If you have a business idea, right, and this
Mm-hmm.
1400 is what's gonna take you to the next level,
Mm-hmm.
then cool, right? But if you have a business idea and you don't have a business plan in place, you don't actually have how you're gonna fund outside of the 1400. Obviously, you gotta take your first step, but your first step shouldn't be that 1400. The first step should be a business plan
Right.
and actually writing a business statement, understanding all the implication of what it is and
Mm-hmm.
what are some of the roadblocks that you could foresee happening to you, right? And
Right.
I'm assuming these people are doing that. If a 1400 is what's going to take them to an LLC level, I'm
Let's
assuming they're all doing
let's
that.
assume. Yeah, we could
Yeah,
assume.
but so then great. That's I think it's amazing that I'm a huge fan of entrepreneurism as
Mm-hmm.
literally somebody that tries a couple times to do their own stuff and is still trying. Right, I'm a huge fan of that. Um, what I'm not a huge fan of is like you're saying, like legit just doing it just to do it. One, you just
Right.
wasted 1400, right? That you could have used to if you have student loans, pay that off, feed your family, travel,
Right.
take a vacation, or something like that. But again, that's pocket watching, so as they call it nowadays. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not pocket watching. I'm just, it's just. I legit thought it was a joke. I didn't think people actually out here open doing it.
No, it's a real thing. And I'm just like, truth to be told, there's other ways to follow your business. If you really think LLC is the one way shop,
But it's
only one.
free though. Isn't Five for LSC free? EIN number
So that
to
tax,
put
you'll need that tax ID,
the
which is
tax
free.
ID, which is free.
But
And
but
then you
then that
go on the
LLC,
Commonwealth site. You go on the Commonwealth site and you file for an LLC.
yep,
And
which
then,
is
but when you do that, you have to submit an actual business plan. It has to be approved though, because I've done
mhm,
that.
yep.
So that's why I was kind of confused about the whole thing, like it was a joke, right?
No, it's a real
Because,
thing. People think you just turn the knob and open the door and walk in and that's it.
no, because you actually, and this might be wrong from what I understand, what I've done in the past. You have to turn in a couple paperwork. So as when I was doing this stuff, I had the nonprofit, right? We did it
Hmm.
as an Inc, right?
Hmm.
And when we did that, we had to because we got approved to get approved for the the nonprofit status, right? Because you get an EIN number still, but to get
Hmm.
approved for the status, you have to do a whole bunch of paperwork, and it costs thousands of dollars. Um, but you can still operate um, through the state, right? And like
Hmm.
do like just help people, but you just have to file as such. You got to show the progress. So
Right.
there's more. Anyways, I don't want to sidetrack, but there's more to it than just
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
You can't just say, "Oh yeah, I have a business." Doing what?
Yep.
No. Anyways,
But yeah, needless to say, if you let's say if you're listening and you get your stimulus check, there's numerous things that you can do, like you mentioned, Felix. You pay off a debt that's been like lingering that you can use to wipe it. If you're all set with debt, like if you're not with if you don't have if you're debt free or you're like close to being debt, you can save it, put
hmm
it for like a rainy day. You can go on a trip, like you mentioned already. Also, you can invest it if you like I mentioned, if you are debt free and you don't really need the money now. So I saw last year, I guess if you put, for example, and this is just an example, I don't come to me for any financial advice for those that are listening. So like if you put the 1400
Mm-hmm.
and crypto, right? So into Bitcoin, 'cause I know you like Bitcoin, you would have 10 grand by now.
Mm-hmm.
So like just things like that. But like I mentioned, I'm not a financial advisor. It's just in this
No, I
case, when
mean
it comes to
that's just
investment,
fact. I mean
yeah,
that's not even financial advisor. That's just it's
yeah,
because of what's happening in the world right now, right? Like investing in crypto. Like
mm-hmm,
people are doing that. Like you take
mm-hmm,
that 1400, you're right. So about early last week, that 1400 would have got you one coin of Ethereum, right?
mm-hmm,
Ethereum is now worth 1800.
mm-hmm,
So last week it dipped back. So it started off. It shot up to 2000 because a bunch of banks were thinking about you using the Ethereum
utilizing Ethereum.
blockchains,
Yep.
yeah, blockchain to build some financial stuff, a whole bunch of things that is over my head. Um, but because of that, it shot up to 2K, and then for the last what week and a half, like the even crypto, like the stocks was just down.
Yep.
I think it was something to do with the tech companies or something like that.
Tech brought a lot of stuff down.
Yeah, like things just crash, and that was a great. We talk about it legit every day. We talk about
Mm-hmm,
it. Great time to go shopping, as you say.
mm-hmm,
Uh, but that time, if you bought, I think Ethereum dropped to like 1200, Bitcoin dropped to
mm-hmm.
like 44. Was it?
Yeah,
Yeah, it dropped to like
Bitcoin,
44
44,
last week
45.
or
Yeah.
so. Yeah, and again, perfect time if you are looking to invest and you don't even trust the stock market, whatever. This is something
Mm-hmm,
that is a finite number, right?
mm-hmm,
So it's got to go up, especially with more companies getting in it. So I thought, you know, you could use that 1400 for that. It doesn't even matter when you get in. You just
right.
gotta invest, right? It don't let it sit in the bank. Outside of that, you could open up a freaking stock account through Schwab,
Mm-hmm.
Robinhood, was it Webull, all
Webull,
these other places.
trade. Yep.
Was it TD Ameritrade,
Mm-hmm.
um, M1 Finance, like all these places, like, and just like do a simple like throw into a Vanguard account or something, and
Mm-hmm.
just let it sit. Buy
I
some
think
index fund and let
I
it
think
sit.
what happens is that, which is crazy now, like now that like I learned more and more about the stock market, I
Mm-hmm.
like it like irks me a little. Like it like raises my skin when people say they don't trust the stock market. So like in my head, I'm like, one, I know personally, I know the stock market is rigged, but it's rigged if you know how to play it well.
Mm-hmm.
So like for example, 70% the stock market's all it's going up. So like people look at it a day-to-day basis and they're like, oh snap, it dropped. Like I don't trust the market anymore. Yo, bro, from the time you was born until now, the stock market just been like this. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
just there was of course there's days like right now, for example, COVID, like it dipped the stock market, but only for a
It's
short
back
amount of
up.
time.
It's literally
But
back up.
yeah.
It's that what you're saying is so is very crucial. Like when I started about what 7 years ago, started really investing. That was
Mm-hmm,
one of the first thing I read about, right?
mm-hmm.
The Oracle of Wall Street, Warren Buffett, like
Okay.
writes in his book, and then he talks about it all. He talks about it in his book. Anthony Robin kind of interview him, and I forgot the other guy's name. They're both very successful on
Oh,
Wall Street.
Charlie Munger
No,
or
it's
okay.
actually
Or
uses
is it
his setup for my
Ray
401k.
Dalio?
Ray Dalio, there we go.
Ray Dalio. Okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
remember you
Ray
talking about him a
Dalio.
lot. Ray
Yeah, I
Dalio.
talk about Ray Dalio. Yeah, it's been a while because once you learn and you have everything set up, you
Mm-hmm.
kind of move on to the next level of like who else can I learn from.
Right.
So I use Ray Dalio and Warren Buffett set up for my 401k,
Mm-hmm.
and I use the same method when I'm investing into like single stocks, which is
Right.
we talk about like I told you. I mean, if I'm gonna be in something, it's not like 2 days, 3 days. It's 3 to 6 months, 10% gain, ten
Right.
percent lost. I'm out within that time period,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's it. I'm not trying to be every day like they. I've done that
Right.
before and it was stupidly stressful. Um, But the point you made is very key. Like legit, since what the stock market has been around. I think even going
Since
back,
since it's existed,
it's
it
just
literally been
the
up.
only time it crashed was what during the what you call in the like the late 30s or whatever, World War II and World War I.
Well, even then, like the Great Depression, like it dropped. But if you still look at it,
It
that
came
was
back up.
that if people understood at the time, like, you know, when you eliminate, like when we talk about limit your debt, um, build that savings. So like you can use your savings, like some of your savings in that scenario, saying like, oh, the in the 30s, okay, it dipped. People that invested in the 30s, like we hardly hear about them now because they're probably like hidden in the world, like their family, like their legacy, because they're literally just like stockpile like millionaires or whatever, etc. It's just the fact that like those days are the days that we normally as a whole as a nation don't talk about, especially people that are like new to the market because they try to buy when everything's like hot, like everything's like
Hmm. Yeah, people
Tesla's
chase. That's normal though. People just chase.
yeah, yeah.
Like
Tesla's at 900, and then you'll hear someone say, "Oh, I wish I bought it when I was here." Now Tesla's at 600, and they're like, "Oh, it's too much." I'm like, "Oh man, get Tesla now. You know it's gonna go. You know it's like
is it at 600 right now?
it's still under 700."
Wasn't it like three? Am I mistaken? I feel like it was like a 3K at some point. I might be. Oh, was it? No,
I
that's
don't
Amazon.
remember, but
Never mind. That's
no, I
Amazon.
don't think it hit three. I don't think. Yeah,
That's
Amazon was at 3K.
Amazon, yeah.
But
Amazon was
like
that.
but yeah, overall, I don't want to get too deep in the stock market, but if you're afraid of the stock market, then you can invest like, ETFs. So those are
Yeah.
basically those companies that like the top companies like for example like SPY or like that ETF or like VOO, that Vanguard
Yeah.
fund.
Oh, yeah.
Basically it's like the top like 500 companies and it's like it's always the top 500. If one company's doing bad, then that company's replaced by another company.
Yeah,
So I
but
don't
then you gotta pay for fees on that though.
I mean, yeah, but like I said, if it's if they're not into like individually and like investing in like individual companies, then like that's like that ETFs or index funds is like the next way for someone to like look
So
into.
so I'm doing this like I told you like I'm doing this I was pulling it up. I'm doing two rotations
Mm-hmm,
um for Jackie and myself saving.
mm-hmm,
Um and basically it's a very aggressive one where we are investing in the Draxler daily,
mm-hmm.
like the mid cap, the semiconductor, and then the 20-year treasury. So I can't miss. No matter what happens in the market, I can't miss
Like
because
that
every
20-year treasury, like that, like if people don't know that one, if that hits zero, the US is like screwed.
e-
Is that
exactly.
yeah, so
And right
like
now, oh, go ahead.
that's a guaranteed um I don't know if it's an ETF, but if it's a guarantee. Well, the Treasury is a guaranteed. It's a bond, correct?
Yes, a
That
bond.
Treasury bond. All right, so that bond is guaranteed. Like if the market as a whole is messed up, guaranteed the Treasury is actually doing you well
Yeah.
because
So
the
I have
Treasury is what's holding everything.
I have this in it's like a pie. I'm using, and this is not an ad.
Mm-hmm.
I have this on M1 Finance where you could create your own pie. So basically, you have your own slices
Mm-hmm.
of like different companies that you want to invest into, and then
Mm-hmm.
basically you build a pie, and then every month or every day, whatever cadence you want, you just throw money in there, and you have set a percentage,
Mm-hmm.
right? Similar to a 401k, right?
Mm-hmm.
Similar to a 401k where you could buy a fund. In this
Mm-hmm.
scenario, I could buy all the dividend stocks I want, like pick individual dividend stocks and
Mm-hmm.
create a pie,
Right.
and then just say, okay, I'm gonna put 1,000 every year. Boom, give me whatever percentages of each of these. Right.
Gotcha.
Eventually, it adds up because it reinvested for you as well, like drip.
Mm-hmm.
It does the
Yep.
drip for you as well, which is dividend reinvestment or something like that.
Yep.
Um, so it reinvested for you as well. So then, literally, I have that pie, and then I have my own one where I have like a dividend stock pie,
Mm-hmm.
international stocks, and then actually, wow, I'm very heavily into the international, and I'm up 3% this month,
Word.
right? I'm up 3% off of just me being. If you're conservative and you don't know nothing about the market, you
Mm-hmm.
you could just do something like this. Or if you're like us and we know something about the market and we invest in single stocks, and you can learn all that too, because we were at zero at one point, right?
Yep.
So I hope people take that 14 stimmy and use it for future gains, right? You don't have to
And
even put it in the market. You could invest in your friend's business. You could invest in your own business, like they're saying the LLC, but make sure you vert it out,
and
right?
that's the thing too. Like for me, I feel like if you really like, if anyone's listening and they want to become wealthy, like this is like a fact that's like that I've been like have instilled in me. If
Mm-hmm.
you if you're investing either in stocks, a business, or real estate, those are the three-headed dragons right there. That's the three-headed dragon: stocks, real estate, or a business. So like when that comes to like the business, it'll be like you mentioned, like if you're investing in your own business or somebody else's business, like say if you are like a partner with that business, or if you're I can't think of the word right now, but basically um equity. So you have equity in that business, or if
Mm-hmm.
you are um well, that's stocks if you invest in other companies, it kind of ties into the stock market. But like I mentioned, stocks, business, and real estate. So those are
Mm-hmm.
three-headed dragons. The three-headed
Yeah,
dragon right there. Like
yeah.
there's nothing else.
You can literally find all of that in a dividend, like a dividend fund.
Yeah.
Oh, not a dividend fund, but like sorry, an index fund.
And next one, yep.
Yeah, or you go to Vanguard and look at the list that they have, and
Mm-hmm.
then use that, right? Like you list a couple, I
Mm-hmm.
list a couple. Like I hope again, most crucial is like just feed your family with that money,
Yep.
man.
If you need, yeah, if you
I thought it was a
then
joke, but apparently not.
then there's that, of course, right? If you come into a situation where your family's like in need, like of course everyone needs a place to sleep. Everyone of course has to eat and etc. Like to go by on a day-to-day basis. If you need to use that 1,400 for those purposes, like for emergency, like for your
Mhm.
family, by all means, I recommend that as well. Well, we both will recommend that.
Yeah. Anyways,
Yep.
if you're gonna use it for travel, we're gonna segue to the travel piece. So if you're gonna use it for travel, it's also another way, right, to invest in yourself and take a little break because the last year has been stressful for everybody.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. I was listening to before we this has to do with travel. I think it's
Mhm.
is it Libya? It might be Libya where they have Mugabe as president. I might be off base on that, but I think it's Libya. Um, but I was watching an old video of that I saw online, and Mugabe was talking about literally how why are we? I know in America we are not paying for it, right? The vaccine, like
Right. Yeah. No.
from what I understand, individuals are not paying for it, but
Mhm.
the government is.
Yep. I believe that's the case. Yeah, I believe that's
From
the
what I
case.
again might be wrong,
Mhm.
100%. Put whatever warning signs somewhere. Oh, but he mentioned this is. I think he's dead now. I think Mugabe's dead now. But he mentioned that it's crazy how this is 20 years ago. He mentioned this. It's crazy how there's always some type of pandemic and how much it costs the countries. But yet, if it's a global pandemic, why do the countries have to pay for the vaccines individual? Like they have to bid on it.
Mhm.
Why isn't if this is a world crisis and it's a mankind crisis, why are we not investing in the vaccine as a mankind rather
Hello.
than charging it to certain countries at different rates because they didn't develop it? And like he was like, this is what keeps. He was like, if you, he was like, he's basically hinting at the fact that it was a market
Mhm.
that pandemics are it's like a market where pretty much people are buying in into something
Mhm.
where it's like okay if we create that virus, this is what he was saying, not me. And I thought it was very interesting. Like that ideology, like you have to, like countries have to pay for something that's affecting mankind, right? Like if you want to get the world back to normal, get the trade routes back, get everything back to normalcy,
Mm-hmm.
why are we not investing in this as mankind? So that's the part I took from it, not the other ideology that we created all these viruses and. But that was the idea. Like, yeah, that is true. Like, how much does Ghana has to pay, and they started vaccinating people. How
Mm-hmm.
much does Togo, Nigeria, Senegal, all these African countries? How much does all these Asian countries have to pay? How much does even America has to pay? Like, if you think about it, we have a UN system. Why isn't on the global scale? So
Right.
invested. And again, I have no idea of if that's
How
what's
they go about
happening.
it. Yeah.
But it was just an interesting thought that I saw from a crazy video going into the rabbit hole.
Deep in YouTube, Felix. You're deep in YouTube.
Yeah, it was a clip of him just talking about it, and I thought it was very interesting, you know?
One minute you watch NBA highlights, next thing you know, you're
Right.
like, oh, I'm
You
deep
watch
in
Mugabe conspiracies. Like, oh my god, really?
But isn't that crazy how it's literally like either trade or like just like high like that like you just mentioned like just bid, everything's just like bid, like
Yeah.
for example, is it like for example, correct me if I'm wrong, but the US, like they basically are not getting the oil from here, it's basically from all the other countries, right, that's
Hmm.
shipping it to here, right? So
I think except for
it's
we get some from Texas.
right. But like, isn't it funny like how we're like the US is the highest bidder, but like mainly the oil's not here. So like they are like not like competing with other people. It's just like it gets high demand like everywhere else. Like they go to Saudi Arabia, for example, and they ask for X amount of cans. And if Saudi Arabia says no, like, all right, well, Saudi Arabia doesn't really have a choice because the US is like the highest, like probably their most paid customer for oil.
Hmm.
Because they know like they probably can get it and the US can probably manipulate that price of
Hmm.
like the oil, like instead of like let's say $20 a tank, I don't know the exact price, they could say like $5 a tank. But it's just the simple fact that like how manipulative like competition how it is when it comes to like trade and all that stuff. Like and then that ties like into the vaccine, like so you don't know like if it's
Yeah.
true or not, if we are like bidding like off of like vaccines, like who like what country is getting like how much like how many vaccines, like that would be wild because US and all the other like high like that I'll say like high economic countries. I'll put it that way. I don't
Hmm.
know the exact word in front of like a high economic country is like able
I
to
think it's a
like
first world country, as they
yeah,
call
like a
it. So,
first world country is able to
but
like
we know is get over the Gucci belt. So. No, it's crazy. No, but yeah, I mean, we could go into that rabbit hole, man. Like I literally spent like 2 hours, like damn. Yeah,
that's
okay.
wild. I need to have
Yeah.
like a Brandon. I need to have like a Brandon emoji. So like that episode where he was like going.
He was flying. My guy was going crazy, man. We need to have him back. Now that we virtual, we could have him. We could have. He doesn't have to drive up. We could have him back, man. Lover boy B.
Lover
I,
boy
I still
B.
haven't got him his video from Seattle, and he's mad about it.
That'll be his first question when he gets on. He's like, "Yo, Felix,"
Where's
just
my
like that.
video?
Pause. He's like, "Where's my video?"
I had to get that video from Loverboy B, man, to get him his video. I still have it, but whatever. I'm not
You
gonna
don't know
edit that
exactly
video.
where it is though.
I do. I do.
Oh, you didn't supposed to say I do. You could have just said,
Nah, it's on
"Yeah,
my
I'm."
Google Drive. It's on my Google Drive, bro. Like, I'm not. He's not getting
Oh,
that. He's not getting that video. I'm gonna have to edit it. Like, we did a whole intro, right? We did a whole intro. This was his birthday
mm-hmm.
weekend. We went for like I think 2 3 days.
Yep.
We went to like a Caribbean spot, and then joined the day for like a day party, like
Mm-hmm.
this like all white event, and then
Mm-hmm.
like on a boat. And I think that's why he wants that video. And then and then we went to I think where one of the I forgot what ocean is it Pacific? It might be Pacific.
Yeah, it should be specific.
Yeah,
Pacific
like
over there.
where it starts.
Mm-hmm.
from the coast over there,
Okay.
and we did like a video of him walking through the ridge, and I shot like a nice video of him walking through the ridge, and then I shot a nice intro video of us going to these. It was like a black professional meet and greet. It was really
Okay.
really dope. We got like a VIP ticket to somewhere because we started talking to people. You know how our
Mm-hmm.
personalities, and we ended up like at a VIP spot
Word.
after. But so he wanted, like, it was just a dope trip. So I get why
You're
he
messed.
won the video,
You're
but I'm
messed.
not editing it, yo.
You're messed up. You're basically telling him, "Hey, you gotta keep all those memories right here
Yo,
because I'm
you know
not
it's
giving
fun.
it."
Jackie planned all of that too. I didn't. She
Mm.
planned all of that stuff. Like,
Word. Word.
yeah, she planned all that trip. Like the itinerary for us, all the stuff we were doing, like it was crazy. Except for like the nice stuff, cause we just stumbled upon things just by,
Mm.
like, we met these people, and then they invited us to like two different events
Mm.
during the weekend. We ended up going to both. It was like it's like it was crazy. So I get why he won that video. So
He's gonna never stop bothering from that video.
no, he been asking for it for about 2 years, man. I give him one more year, and then I'll probably give it to him. But well,
Punishing the poor kid, man. Punishing him just for a video.
my guy, he should have gotten the GoPro if he wanted to put that jaw on him, walk around like what? Get a GoPro, bro. Yeah, I'm gonna give him his video. I'm joking. I'm gonna give him his video.
That's how it always starts. I'll give it to him. Don't worry.
I've been saying that for 2 years, man. I'm not giving him his video. But yeah, so that was one of the crazy trips, man, that me and Brandon went on. But yeah, you went on a crazy adventure while he wasn't here. It was so this guy called me from a car. Like, I'm like, why you cut it off? I gotta tell you something. Wild, man. You and your wife are very adventurous, bro.
Oh yeah, so, I'm out. Let me go into that. So, what week are we in? So I think what was this? The last episode was like almost a month ago now, basically.
Yeah.
Episode 11 was a month ago. Yeah, so
Yep.
episode 11 was like a month ago, and my wife and I we were actually planning to get another dog. So, long story short, we drove. Actually, no, I'll tell you the story because we're on a podcast. So my wife got this someone from her job told her that this puppy, like the female, like the mother of the dog, was given like they had 8 puppies and they all were for free. Like they weren't going to keep the puppies. So that's my wife's favorite word besides clearance is free. So needless to say, I was like, oh, so they're giving away puppies for free. And then she was like, yeah, but there's one qualm. So there's a qualm about it. I said, what's up? So she told me, and I kid you not, everyone, that the puppies are in Alabama. So, so needless to say, the first idea what was going to happen was for me to take the plane and then just go there and then just pick the puppy up and then come back with the puppy. The only issue was that the puppy was too young to get on the plane at the time. So then I was just like, and the price like went up after like the week that we checked to get to that part, to get to Montgomery. I believe the nearest airline was in Montgomery, Alabama. But like needless to say, the price just like went up, and I was just like, dang, I don't want to like pay for like a flight, like just to pick up a puppy and then come right back the same day. And then the second option was to drive. So the driving option, I was like, dang, how long is this drive? And I looked it up. It was a 17-hour drive. And Felix is like, I don't even believe this still to this day. So yeah, it was a 17-hour drive.
Man
And
calling me,
I,
man.
I contemplated it because I was just like, man, I don't know if I really want to do this. But then I was just like, man, I don't know if I really want to go on a plane to go to the middle of nowhere. Basically, I don't know where I was going. I just know I was going to an address in Alabama to pick up, like to like a meeting ground to pick up the puppy, just to go back on a plane to get back here. And I was like, I don't even know the people. It was my wife's co-worker's friend that was giving away the puppies. So it was like a friend of a friend.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, at that point, I was like, nah, I don't even trust that. So I was like, I told Tulsa
Sounds like a
that
setup.
I told her that day. It was Friday when we left, and I was like, Tulsa, let's just go. You want to just drive to Alabama? It was literally on the fly. Like I literally, and I threw it out there as a bone. I didn't know if she was gonna take it.
You threw out the wrong person.
Yeah, I forgot who I was messing with because we were at Petco just picking up dog food, and then for Atticus, and then we were just like, I just threw it out there. I was like, you want to just drive to Alabama? And she's like, wait, are you serious? And I was like, yeah, why not? Let's just drive down there. Let's pick up the puppy and then come back. No big deal, right? We will save money on the plane because the plane was like it literally was. You might as well call it a vacation, but it was only
Mm-hmm.
for a day to get on the plane. The prices that it was at the time. And then I was like, yeah, let's just go. And then Tulsa was like, all right, let's take Atticus to the dog sitter. So we have a dog sitter. So we drove Atticus to the dog sitter, and from the dog sitter, we drove to Alabama. So we packed our stuff. We got extra stuff just in case, like we have food and snacks and stuff. Um, it wasn't 17 hours because of course we had to stop every now and then because that's a long drive. So we passed the following states, and I had to type it down while you was talking about the stock market, so I remember which states we passed. So it's Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, Delaware, Pennsylvania, Virginia, West Virginia, Tennessee, Georgia, then Alabama. So we passed through all those states and we got to Alabama. And I kid you not, Felix, when we got there, I thought for a second. So Alabama, if those that haven't been to Alabama or anywhere in the South besides Florida, the states down there, everything's like spread out. It's like an open, like all like residential homes are like spread out like miles apart. And like for example, a mailbox will be one particular location, but you'll realize the house is probably like at least a mile away from the mailbox. So when we got there, like we got onto the street of where we were going, and the person's mailbox was right where we were at, and then we were like, where the hell are we? And it was Saturday night by the time we got there. So we left Friday night, we got there Saturday night. And it was like the nighttime when we saw the mailboxes, and we were just like, dang, it's all this mailbox. And I was tight in my head, Felix. So I was like, I drove X amount of hours just for to and encounter like a Craigslist like Facebook ad.
Oh my
Like that's what it
god.
felt like. Cause I was like, yo, there's nothing here, just the stuff for our mailbox. So then Tulsa called the person, and the person like had to give directions as if like you've encountered a situation like if you're like let's say like in Ghana are there street names in Ghana?
They're starting to be, yeah. But people
Okay,
give
so like
instructions
okay,
based
so
off of like,
so you don't
yeah,
know exactly what I'm talking about when Tulsa
yeah.
called the person and then they were like, all right, so you have to pass the fire station. So then the fire station will be on your left side, and then you'll see the little mini.
Exactly that, yes.
So that's exactly what happened at 7 to 8 o'clock at night, mind you. And then they also said the step before the house, they said, oh, you have to pass the mailbox. And then from the mailbox, you have to drive up a little mini hill. But on the left side, it's a pond. Like there's a pond of where we had to drive past. And I'm like, it's 7 o'clock at night and it's like pitch black. I was like, if my car, like, mind you, I drove my car down there. So I was like, if my car falls into a pond and I call my insurance company and I have to explain this story, they're going to look at me with five heads. I'm like, are you mad? Why did you drive all the way down there? So needless to say, we end up finding the house. This house was like humongous because in Alabama, like everything's like, well, mainly in the South, like rented
Mm-hmm.
like to buy a house is cheaper. So like they bought their land and they just literally built this humongous house. It's like probably yeah, I think it was like 3 or 4 acres of land that they had. Like they had the house, they had a house stable, like a horse stable. They had all this extra like bells and whistles there. So then
So
we met the dog there, and then the puppy didn't want to come to us at first because this is like a 9 week puppy, and the puppy was like not antsy, but like nervous to come to us. I was like, dang man, we drove all the way over here, and this puppy doesn't even want to come to us. I was like, what if the puppy said no? What if the owner said, you know what? I don't think the puppy likes you guys. Let's just reconsider. I would have been so mad. I would have been
yeah,
so
nah, we getting that puppy.
yeah.
First of all, let's backtrack. You give to like
I
my
was
man
I was
said. My mom said, I'm chilling at Pepco. I'm like, you know what? I feel like going to Alabama. I'm going to drive. Who does that? Like, who does that? That's
Oh, so
crazy.
mind you, when before our first scheduled podcast, like our podcast that was scheduled at the time, I was like, cool. I was like, all right, cool. I can do the podcast on the laptop. So I brought my laptop with me. But what state we were in? We were in Tennessee. So we were in Tennessee. We had Subway, and then I parked in the driveway because the parking lot, because that parking lot did have Wi-Fi. But I
Mm.
guess in this case, the Wi-Fi wasn't strong enough to like do
Yeah, you
like a
kept cutting out.
yeah, I was just like, ah. And I looked at Tulsa. I was like, yeah, I gotta tell him I'm in Tennessee.
I'm like, this dude who's like, I'm going to Alabama. I'm like, bro, we have our first guest, and you're going to Alabama. Like, I'm like, and mind you, you were the one that told me about the time. Like, oh, this time works. And I'm
It
like,
did work. It worked and
it
everything. It was
clearly
just the
did
fact
it.
that like the connection didn't work in my favor, and I was like, dang,
My
man.
guy, my guy woke up with an appetite to drive. I'm dead. Yo, when you, I was like, where you at? Oh yeah, look outside. I'm in Tennessee. What? Legit was talking to this guy like, oh, like literally via tap. I thought you were like across the street. No, no, this guy's all the way across the freaking country, going on a countrywide journey. But that's a crazy adventure, man.
I'll tell you what. So on the way back, so I guess that snowstorm around that time period was
Yeah,
happening. It hit Tennessee. I didn't know it snowed in Tennessee, but it snowed in
it does.
Tennessee. Yeah, surprisingly, it doesn't. It
I mean,
didn't.
it did snow in
Well,
Texas too, so
anything's possible now. So yeah, I was like, dang, it snows this bad over here. So we had to pull over. We had to rest for the time being. But we got back like Sunday night. Yeah. So we were literally gone for the whole weekend.
damn, that sounds yeah.
But he's cool. This dog's name's Oreo, like the cookie, because he's like his skin is like black, but he has like white tips.
Mm-hmm.
Like his paws are like white. The end of his tail is like white. Like his chin and chest is like white. So yeah, looks like an Oreo. So we called him Oreo. And it was nice too because they didn't name the puppies, so they let the whoever was gonna take the puppies name their puppy. Like it was pretty cool.
That's crazy. I would never drive for a pet that far.
Ne- ne- Needless to say, I would not take a road trip again. If you ask me for a road trip, unless if I'm not driving, I'll go. Otherwise, I'm not for it.
Yeah, after I did a road trip to Toronto, I had to drive 10 hours. I was good.
Oh,
After that, I paid for flights, man. Like
flights is what.
yeah, like we went to Western Mass. That
Mm,
was that's pretty far. That was like I think 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and then we went to the Poconos and
mm-hmm,
Finger Lakes.
mm-hmm.
I combined. I think it combined total round trip was like 7 hours. No, not no 14 hours. Sorry, because there and back.
Mm-hmm.
I might be. I need to look at that then, but
It's a long drive. Let's
yeah,
put it
yeah,
that way.
it was.
That is a long drive.
It was like, but I don't mind driving if it's a nice, beautiful day. Once and then when I way back, it started raining, bro. I hate driving in the rain. It was just like people don't know how to drive in the rain. Like everybody's still
No,
speeding. Like what?
yeah.
Like I
Everyone
could
thinks
barely see. Like we got a swoosh. Like come on, man.
everyone thinking it's California weather. And they're
Yeah,
driving
like
through the
and
rain
then
like that. I'm like,
and then
oh,
it was foggy. It was raining and foggy, so you can't see anything. And it was dark. I'm like, oh, I hate this.
so it's funny because one of the people that I was gonna we so you know Shasha, so it's one of Tulsa's sisters, right? So
Mm-hmm.
she doesn't drive at the time. So we always would love to bring her, but she's not a driver, so it's like kind of like just a body just being thrown in to the car. And it's
Like you
just like
serve no purpose on this trip.
right, there's no purpose. So I don't know about
Oh
you, but like if you're taking a long trip like that, I make sure like there are people that are driving.
no, no, yeah, it wasn't
Because
just me.
you
Jackie
just
drove some
yeah
too.
yeah because it's just you going there and back. That's literally like a pain on your end. So it's like, dang man, you're not sleeping at all. So
On the
needless to
way,
say, no
yeah, yeah.
no.
No. Yeah, usually on those road trips, I'm not the only one, but still, but it's fun. Road trips are fun if you have like a Winnebago, if you have one of those like nice like beat up cars where you're just going on like an adventure to see what happened. Like you don't have like a specific return time, right? Like
Right.
you took it like maybe a 3 week off, and you're just saying let's hit the road. Like the whole crap in movies, right? I think that's what
Right.
makes the ideology so much fun. It's like, yo, let's just go.
You know
Let's
what
just
Tulsa and
go.
I planning to doing? We're planning on just go to the airport one day and then just take the next flight that's like somewhere in this country and just go.
That'd be dope. That'd be dope.
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
Only if
Just
if it says New
bring your
York, of
bag.
course,
That means you gotta prep for like if it's cold, if
anything,
it's hot.
anything. Yeah.
That's the thing. But I feel like if you say, all right, let's go to the airport, let's go anywhere in the West, then you know the standard attire.
Right.
Right, let's go anywhere in the East, then you have the standard attire. But if you just go, I feel like yeah, you're gonna need like three bags.
Packed with sweatshirts. Find out we're going to Hawaii.
Exactly, exactly. Like I mean, like, or you could do a randomizer online prior to, and just type in a bunch of places in a
Prior
randomizer.
to being at the airport.
Yeah, and then click random. I mean, that's less adventurous. I like your idea better, but I'm like the first one I thought about, bro. What if you end up in like Antarctica? What? What if you end up in like literally the
Going to
border of
Alaska.
Canada?
Yep.
Yeah, like what are you gonna do?
Go to,
You're gonna
go to
freeze.
Ontario in the middle of December, thinking he was gonna end up somewhere in the West Coast.
Exactly. Like, nah, you don't want to do that.
Nah,
But it's adventure. I like it. I like it. Definitely should
it is
do
an
it.
adventure. That's
But
what
you
it's all
have to
about.
pack. You have to pack a bunch of days to prepare. So, but I'm going the opposite. I'm doing the opposite of. We already have because Jackie's a planner, so we have like we're going to Arizona finally.
Okay, yep. Perfect segue. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about you going to Arizona.
Grand Canyon. I think we talked about this last year around this time because that's when I'm supposed to go, pre-pandemic. So we're finally doing it. So it should be fun. We going back to not going back. we plan going back to the Grand Canyon, and I think there's a bunch of things in Sedona that we're gonna do as well. But I'm excited. I haven't been. So
you're going at a good time because when I went, like when I went to Vegas, the Vegas trip, one of the day trips that we did was Vegas, but was the Grand Canyon, but the layover to Vegas was Phoenix. It was like 100 degrees in October. I was like, dog, that's crazy. Like I got off the plane and I was like going to like my our next flight, but it wasn't like immediately next. It was like there was that layover period, but I was just like, dog, I'm glad we're inside because if we're outside, like I felt like I would have been dripping. Like it was just been chocolate just dripping off me. It was like 110 before during that time, but that was Phoenix. So like in Vegas at the time, it was like probably the high.
Vegas get hot, bro. Vegas get.
It was like
hot.
we went at a good time. It was like only 80.
Dog, I feel like I couldn't blink when I was there. It was so dry. It was so dry. I was like, you know the SpongeBob meme? Water. that meme. I need water.
Well, I'm surprised. Well, I liked it because I sweat. So I sweat.
So you like the dry?
Yeah, it wasn't bad for me. But like, I feel like that's only like a certain amount of time during the year before it gets like extremely hot, like unbearably hot, and then I'll be like the SpongeBob meme, where I'll always will be requesting water and making sure there's AC everywhere I go.
Man, but yeah, we'll see, man. I think April, so hopefully there's less people.
Okay, yeah.
You'll see there's less people, and we will be stopping through. Obviously, Phoenix is one of the airports, so we will be stopping through Phoenix for like a day.
Word.
And then going to the Grand Canyon. And
so you driving out there, right?
Yeah, we driving, but we have a hotel around. Like that's.
Well, I'm talking about you driving from Mass, right? You driving from Massachusetts. You driving from Mass. Oh wait, can you hear me now?
I'm joking.
Oh. I'm done.
I was
Joke
trying to
back on
ignore
back
you.
joke.
Can you hear me now?
I'm done.
uh, I'm not. Hell no, I'm not
You're
driving. You
taking
crazy?
a
I'm not. Even if somebody else was driving, I'm not doing that trip
nah.
in the
Yeah, I
car.
wouldn't. I wouldn't recommend that.
I'm.
Talking from experience, I wouldn't recommend that at all.
I'm definitely gonna be on a plane for the first time
Mm-hmm.
in a year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, so I'm kind of nervous because of obviously the pandemic, but we'll see.
I feel like they've improved. Do you know which? I'm not gonna. Yeah. Do you know the airlines that you
I
might
think
take?
it's JetBlue.
Okay, so yeah, they're. I can speak for experience. They're like they know how to separate like passengers, especially if it's not like a lot of passengers on the plane.
Mm.
They'll just make sure like if you're not with like a pair, like say you're going with Jackie, you guys will be in your own row, and then there'll be someone else in like a row or two behind you. So like just one person. So like they really like separate everyone that's on the plane. So like you
Oh,
might have like that seat, like say for example it's like B12, and then someone has like B12B with you or something like that, or B12C since it's you and Jackie. So you may ask the person that's not with you guys to like if they want to move to a different location.
oh, okay. Oh, that's
So
good.
yeah. So they
That's
try they
good.
like I mentioned, they try to separate everyone the best way they can.
Yeah, that's good then. All right,
Wait, are
that
you
makes.
are you afraid of heights? Can we talk about that? Like in
Uh,
general,
I'm afraid of moving heights.
moving heights. So have you ever
Like,
heard of the skywalk before?
yeah, yeah, I wouldn't do that.
You want to do it?
No,
It's not moving.
I'm moving. Like moving. The hell? Like what?
You know, so don't make me talk have to go ask you for Jackie's number to recommend you to get on the skywalk.
Oh no, no, it's came up. It's not part of the activity.
Oh, you said no already?
I would not be partake because that skywalk, right? They have a net, right?
No, so hold on. I'll be right back. I do have a photo of what the skywalk looks like. I'll be right back. Give me 1 minute.
So while he's gone, let's talk about some stocks, people. So spend that $1,400 properly. Invest in the stock market, and or give it to me. You know, give it to me. I will use it. JK, nah, nah. Seriously, I didn't know that was a joke that Will mentioned about. I thought that was a joke that people were joking about the LLC stuff, but you gotta. Hopefully, people have a business plan. I think it's a great idea if you have a business plan and that's what's gonna take you to the next level. Do it up, but yikes! People are just looking at Twitter for confirmation on how to spend that money. That's not the place.
Tulsa's gonna send me a picture because I couldn't find the frame for some reason. I think she moved it to somewhere else in the house, but she'll send me a picture of what the skywalk is. So basically, what the
I just
skywalk is,
googled it.
it's a man. How can I make this sound less dangerous? So it's a glass platform, right? And it's off of the. It's kind of like off the cliff on the west side. I think it's located on the west part of the Grand Canyon, and it's a glass cliff that it's very secure. It's basically the material and like the weight. It's for like
So I'm putting on the screen, but
oh
keep
bad.
talking.
It's like on the weight of, like the weight of like the heavy duty airplanes or something like that. All right, so it looks like this. And Tulsa sent me a picture.
Oh, I could do this.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, it's not that. Ooh.
So I shared it on the screen for virtual folks.
All right, so ooh,
We got to move
okay.
it back.
All right, so yeah, that's the skywalk.
Damn, well, look at you looking masculine. Okay,
Oh
okay.
man, you know,
You're buff, man.
I'm flexing somehow, some way. We flex. Oh, so this is me and let's see, Tulsa and her sisters. Let's see this green screen
Yeah, I
blocking.
see it. I see it.
Okay, so yeah, that's the background of the canyon right there, and the glass is what you're standing on. So when you're on it, you can't wear your shoes like your actual shoes. I mean, you can wear your shoes, but you have to put like plastic bags like on it, like covering it, because then you'll probably the chance of you scratching the glass of the
Oh,
platform.
dude, it's not even big at all.
No, yeah, that platform right. Yeah, it's just a little
Yeah, I'm looking at it right
roundabout.
now. Yeah,
Yeah,
look
so
at
like it's like a U, it's like a U shape. You
there you
just
go,
walk
folks.
around.
For our virtual folks, I'm
Oh,
sharing on the screen. Well, you can't see it, but
I have an idea. I have an
yeah,
idea.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
but yeah,
Somebody
so like
go.
I mentioned, it's definitely something that I highly recommend. Um, there's two things. Well, when you go to the Grand Canyon, it's on the western part because there's different parts of the Grand Canyon you can go to. So we went to the western part, and from there you can, if you're going to western, there's like a little like station, and then before the station, like it's a bus that will take you to two different sites of that western part of the Grand Canyon. One in which is where the Skywalk is located, and that's where you walk that perimeter, like of off the edge of
Yeah.
the canyon. Sounds scary, but I'm telling you what's holding the canyon. It's I mean that what's holding on that platform is literally like heavy duty material with like
No, I
protective.
mean it's a bridge. It's like a
It looks
bridge.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not scared about that. No.
All right, so yeah, you'll be good as long as you don't look
No.
down, right?
So what I thought you meant the skywalk, right? There's actually like a rope, and they have a
Oh,
net
oh,
under.
yeah,
You
not
see like
that.
the Will Smith thing.
Yeah, yeah, not that. Yeah, not
That's what I thought you meant.
yeah, not that.
That I will not be partaking in. All right, but this I can do.
Yeah, that's doable. So there's that. And then there's another location in the western part where they take you afterwards where it's pretty nice too. You just walk on some like rocks. You do rock not rock climbing, hiking. So
Yeah,
you
yeah,
do
yeah.
a couple hikes, like it's like a miniature hike. It's like
Did you
a
guys
pretty
buy hiking shoes?
um if you want, it's you can wear like regular like for me I wore it's like my new like some old New Balance shoes that I just wore for the
Okay.
day.
All
So
right. I
it's
just
like
wear my regular like shoes that I wear when I go hiking. Then
yeah.
I don't have like the authentic hiking shoes.
Yeah, so yeah, there's no need for that.
Okay.
You'll be fine.
I'm pumped, man. All
But
right. Cool.
just don't go on the edge. So there's places where you can just walk over the edge to look over to see
Yeah.
what it looks like. And I wouldn't recommend it, especially if you're one of those people that like to drop things in your hand like while you're walking. So imagine trying to drop your phone. That would be the biggest L that you'll ever have in your life. You will not be able to get that back
We
because
flying, man. We flying.
oh
We
you
ch- we
flying
chase we
squirrel
chasing
out here
that.
trying to grab the
Yeah, we chasing that, man.
you flying
No, but
squirrel.
yeah, I'm gonna put everything in my book bag. I have my GoPro set up. I'm just gonna
Mm-hmm.
strap it to my chest.
Mm-hmm.
Um, hopefully it works still. I'm just gonna strap it to my chest, and I'm gonna put my phone and everything in my bag.
So it's crazy because right in the Grand Canyon, like before you hit the Grand Canyon, it's like small little like communities, like small little communities. Like there's like a local school, for example. I was like, dang, I think it was like K through 8, but I'm not sure if it was high school as well connected to it. But like literally it was like one school in that whole community. And then there's like churches everywhere. There's like small little small little shops regarding like the like native shops. So it's native area. Like the whole land over there is native land, of course. And no, it's just wild over there. So like you might see in the middle, depending on when you go. So like cattle, so like cows,
Ooh,
and
nice,
you'll see
nice.
you'll see a lot of cattle guard signs. It'll say like warning cattle guard. So those what those are. So it's like a sidewalk, but it's like for cows to like walk across the street, like the whatever, like the dirt road. So like it'll let other people know, especially if you're driving, you'll see like the shining object there, and you'll know like if a cattle's like walking. So like when we were leaving the
Mm-hmm.
Grand Canyon, it was like the middle of the night. There's no street lights when you're leaving, so like you have to have your high beams on. And then we saw like a group of cattle like walking in a certain direction. You would think they're like leaving like a local cookout or something. Uh, like they were just leaving like a party. I'm like, dang, it was like I kid you, I was like 10,
A
10,
cow cookout
yeah, like
where
get it right,
they were not on the menu.
right. They were just like, all right, let me just hang out, and then they're like, probably their worst enemy was the one that was being rotated around. Who knows? But no, it was very interesting. And it's definitely a breathtaking experience there.
I'm
You know,
excited, man.
I would go back. I would highly recommend going back.
Yeah,
So
I'll have some recording next time we record for sure.
dope, 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 dope.
I'm pretty
Just
pumped
don't,
about it.
whatever you do, you might see signs that says please stop by to get like a free drink or a free shot or
It's not
whatnot.
free, huh?
Don't, well, I wouldn't stop at all because these are stops that are like in the middle of nowhere, Felix, and I don't know if you should be trusting places in the middle of nowhere that you don't know where you really are, truly are. So needless to say, just keep on driving, Felix. But that's what we did. I saw like a couple of signs on the drive, like it was like free shot of liquor, and it'll point in the direction of where it is. I'm like, nope, I'm straight. Let's just keep going. I've seen this in movies before, so I'm all set.
Yeah, no, yeah, I definitely won't be making those type of stops.
Yep. And then I
But
kid you not too, it looked like some places look like Breaking Bad, since you are a Breaking Bad fan. There's like a couple of medical
ooh,
labs like before hitting like the communities. Like so there's like a strip. I don't remember the name of the strip when you're driving to Arizona, but like you'll see like off the road, there'll be like some medical labs. And if you're driving to, like you said, you're driving to the canyon, I recommend having the GPS open as soon as you leave, because there's a certain time like you will lose signal. And
mm-hmm.
like just like normally if you're losing signal, like
Yeah,
just sure you don't remove like escape the map, because the map will probably disappear on your phone. So yeah, with that being said, there's a lot of dirt road out there, so you just gotta make sure you don't do like close out of that map.
okay. Thank you for that. I'm gonna use that little like 4K whatever,
Mm,
um, like 4G the hotspots. Those I
okay.
hope. Well, hopefully those doesn't lose signal. I think those probably also lose signals.
Yeah, it's gonna lose signal. You're gonna lose
Yeah.
signal out there. But it's very breathtaking. We did try to stop at the Hoover Dam. That was
Mm-hmm.
like in Vegas, like during the time when we were in Vegas, but it was closed because of COVID. But there's like a lot of stops, places where you can stop and like take pictures while you're driving.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those sightseeing. You know how you drive, and sometimes they'll say like sightseeing location. You could pull over in there. So that's what we did too. So we did a couple of that. That was pretty cool.
Okay.
A lot of like just open land out there.
Yeah, I'm pretty pumped about that. I'm gonna.
Mm,
I haven't been. I'm just excited to be traveling again, man. Like I'm pretty
word.
pumped. I'm pretty
That,
pumped about that.
that,
So, but
that.
yeah, I think we went. Anything else that we need to touch on? I think we're good, man.
So I think we're good. For me, it's not it's up in the air, but I'm not sure if it's definite. So we're planning on a trip to PR. I think I told you this already. So we're planning on a trip to PR, and then the PR trip is where we are. It's not. It's gonna be like a short trip, but we'll see. That's still up in the air. But with that, I want to try to communicate out to people that live in PR. So like in the last episode, I was listening to a couple of things about that. I was like, I put that on my notebook. I was like, all right, cool, cool, cool.
Oh yeah, you gotta go to not an ad like she said.
Yep,
The restaurant that Loda recommended.
yep.
Um, you definitely gotta go there, and then she recommended some like the beach towns and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so
She recommended a
definitely
lot of stuff, so I was just like, all right, cool. Let me just keep that in the back of like my back burner,
yeah,
my notebook of ideas.
that's dope, man. Yeah, let me
Mm.
know. Let me know. I wanna. We got like other trips. Hopefully towards the end of the year. If things everything come back to normal.
Oh man, Tulsa and I are still owed a trip to Greece because that
Okay.
was canceled because of
Yeah. So you
that was
have
the
the credit,
honeymoon
right?
trip. Yeah, we have the credit,
Yeah.
so
So
they
that's the
said
same thing for us. We have the credit,
yeah.
so we're just gonna use it now.
So Greece, Italy, and France. That was our honeymoon trip. Yeah,
Uh,
and then this year, so my 30th, we were supposed to plan a while back. So I wanted to go to Dubai,
ooh.
but COVID hit, and like it kind of like backtracked a lot of things. So I'm not sure if that's still in the air, but that's definitely a place that I want to go to anyway.
But Dubai is open, so it don't even
Yeah, yeah.
matter.
Is it open for like us to go travel
Yeah,
there?
yeah. I mean, you see, look
Okay,
at IG. All these people.
true.
Like, come
Yeah,
on, man.
that's
If you
true.
want to see what's open on IG, follow and see all those people doing it, and you know where where's open, man. talk to the young folks. They're doing their thing, man. You see
Young
it.
folks. All right.
Cancun is open. Atlanta is open. Obviously, Florida
Well,
is never open. Atlanta never closed. Like
Atlanta never closed.
they don't get.
Atlanta. It doesn't matter if there's a typhoon outside or a hurricane or
They're still
there's a
getting to
mob.
it.
Yeah, Atlanta will always stay open.
Yeah, they're still getting to it. But yeah, I'm definitely like for my therapy. We were supposed to go to Bali and Japan. I think I told you about that. And
the Japan trip, yeah.
Yeah, but we didn't like buy anything. So because it was in October and pandemic hit in March, so and like we were like, oh, maybe by July we'll be back out. Nope. Right, everybody thought this was gonna be a 2-week thing.
You thought it was a person. That's what the government was.
Yep, everybody thought it was 2-week thing, but it a year later it still happened. So
crazy. But I think let's see nothing else regarding like trips. That's pretty much it regarding like for me for trips as of now. Maybe one day I might come spontaneous again, like I mentioned, like how I went to Alabama.
Right. I
might be a spontaneous guy. Yep, let me go to Tennessee. And it's crazy because we went to Georgia. As soon as we hit Alabama, so I guess there's a part in Alabama, or it was just Alabama when we crossed the state line. Like we went an hour back. Like we finally went an hour back. And I was just like, dang, that's how far we drove. Like we had to like it ended up being an hour back in time. And I was just like, geez, it was like 8 o'clock here, but it was 7 o'clock in Alabama. And I was just like, well, we told the person we'll be there at 8 and it's 7 here, so we're technically an hour early in their time. So
did you guys take naps on your way there? Like
yeah. So those were the resting spots. When we went to the resting spots, like we just took naps.
Oh, okay.
Oh man, good times.
If anybody want to be like Will, take spontaneous trip to go pick up a pet. Not I, but
the pet's adorable. He's adorable. He's an adorable little fella. Do I have a photo?
I would not be making that trip for any dog, but I don't blame him because he already has a dog, so he's a dog person. I'm not.
Happy was it happy? I don't say happy wife that much. I say happy spouse, happy house. Happy spouse, happy house.
That's a good one.
Facts. Happy spouse, happy house.
Oh man, my guy replaced the whole concept.
Oh, there he is, right there.
That's okay. That's Oreo.
Yep, that's Oreo.
Oreo and Atticus, your 2 dogs.
Oreo and Atticus.
How'd they get along?
They actually get along pretty well. Let's put it that way. They get along pretty well.
Okay.
One's they're both greedy. Let's put it that way. They're both greedy in their own way. Like it's to the fact that I think Atticus got more. I can't say it. Like he his like his commands, like when you command him to do something, he's like more like into it now because there's another dog, and that other dog
is like so jealousy.
Yeah.
Competitiveness.
Yep, it's all competitiveness at this point. Like right now, Tulsa's laying down, and one dog's trying to get closer to Tulsa than the other one. It's literally that competitive in this house right now. Meanwhile, I'm just like, all right, I get to chill.
Well, for now.
For now.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for coming through. We really appreciate it. We're excited to have Will back. Hopefully, the next one we'll have another guest. He won't be somewhere in the Midwest, living his best life.
Midwest.
Picking up a cat this time. But
no, I hate cats.
I actually like cats.
You like cats? Oh man, I can't stand
well, they
cats.
like me.
Felines and Felix.
Yep, Felix the cat. But obviously follow. Look at what is it? There we go. Oh no, it's this way.
Oh.
Yeah, it's this way. Yeah, and then check out the podcast on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts and anywhere, any platform you listen to your podcast on. We'll be back on another one on the adventures of Mr. Afrani.
Oh no,
Mr. Anansi.
Oh man!
For the first time, I messed up.
Oh man, that's not good if you messed
For
up.
the for the
Nah.
first time, I messed up on the
Do I
adventures.
have to take
Let's
it?
try this again, y'all. The Adventures of Mr. Anansi and
Mr. WP. I might have to take your title now. You're gonna have to switch it up and say the Adventures of Mr. WP now, cause just for you to remember the rest of it.
no, but that's you. You kept messing up. That's why we got to this point because you kept messing
Me?
up your life.
Oh man. All right.
I remember when we first started, you kept messing up yours because you
We're gonna
kept
have to
coming
bring those.
into it too fast.
We're gonna have to bring those tapes back.
We got them tapes. That's literally a proof of the recording. Um,
Uh-uh.
with that being said, we catch y'all later.
All
Peace.
right, guys.